Although many people have predicted in advance that the Federal Reserve will most likely be forced to cut interest rates this year, most people did not expect that the US would announce rate cut so quickly and by such a large margin. As the United States surrenders and admits defeat in the global financial war it has provoked in the past, a new historical cycle has begun. For Chinese, it is also very likely that Chinese will usher in four major economic benefits in the future. According to two relevant reports from Reference News, the Federal Reserve has recently announced that it will lower the target range of US federal funds rate by 50 basis points to a level between 4.75% and 5%. This is not only the first rate cut by the Federal Reserve in nearly 4 years, but also marks the Federal Reserve's shift from the monetary policy tightening the cycle to an easing cycle. It must be said that US move really surprised many people. At least two of them did not expect it. First one, the Federal Reserve move this time would be so big the interest rate was reduced by 50 basis points at one time. Many analysts believe that even if the US eventually turned to the West, it would adopt a relatively more stable plan and first cut the interest rate by just 25 basis points to test the waters. However, the US directly cut the interest rate by 50 basis points this time. The main reason why the US did this is that its current domestic situation has undergone major changes. Second, the inflation situation in the United States has been significantly relieved. On the other hand, the US job market has begun to face severe pressure and the unemployment rate has risen rapidly. This has led to the Federal Reserve facing the huge pressure to shift its policy and and must take greater steps in reducing interest rates. They did not expect that United States 50 basis point interest rate cut this time was just the beginning. According to federal forecast, it will reduce the interest rate by another 50 basis points by the end of this year. By 2025, the US federal funds rate will be reduced to 3.4%, and by 2026, the interest rate will even be reduced to 2.9%. To put it bluntly, the fact that the United States can make a decision to cut interest rates for a long time can only mean that the United States has completely failed in this global financial war it has provoked and cannot hold on to the future. It is an inevitable trend for United States to continue to cut interest rates. The era of global monetary tightening has ended. The era of monetary easing has arrived. So, for Chinese, that impact will have large-scale interest rate cut United States have on China. Judging from the current situation, the interest rate cut in United States is likely to bring China four major benefits. First, federal interest rate cut means that the world has officially entered a cycle of interest rate cuts and monetary easing. Global assets, especially real estate, will usher in a revaluation of value, and there is a high probability that they will usher in a substantial increase. For Chinese, this obviously means that the value of domestic real estate will usher in a major positive, and it is very likely to stabilize and stop falling, even usher in a small increase. Second, the US interest rate cut will allow a large amount of fleeing funds to begin to flow back. As the important manufacturing country, a major market in the world, China will soon attract a larger amount of funds to invest in China, which will greatly restore domestic consumption confidence and boost the development of domestic economy. In the same way, the Federal Reserve's interest rate cut is also a good thing for Chinese stock market. With a large amount of foreign capital attracted to the Chinese market, Chinese shareholders are likely to usher in a large-scale rise in the market. Third, for Chinese yuan exchange rate, Federal Reserve interest cut undoubtedly means the end of the era of strong dollar and the arrival of strong Chinese yuan. In the future, Chinese yuan exchange rate against US dollar is expected to increase. Once Chinese yuan appreciates, it will also be a big benefit to China in terms of the economy. The fourth and last, the federal interest rate cut will greatly reduce the pressure on China to cut interest rates, which means that Chinese will have more room for maneuver in monetary policy in the future. And Chinese can take more powerful measures to boost economic development and reduce the burden on the people, especially in terms of interest rates of existing mortgage loans that are related to countless ordinary people. There is a high probability that discounts will appear in the future. The situation of substantial interest rate cut is a major benefit for both property market and economic development. In short, United States announcement of substantial interest rate cut this time obviously not only means that United States has lost financial war it provoked in the past, but also releases a heavy signal that US dollar hegemony is accelerating towards decline.
After watching this video, don't forget to give it thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we post new content. Your support means a lot and helps our team create more videos like this. Thanks for watching.